Hey there, I am back with another creative pep talk, and this time I have something a little bit different. In the last week, I've had the unusual and unexpected experience of going just a little bit viral on TikTok. I read a poem Tuesday evening, and I had seen it Tuesday morning in a Rob Bresney newsletter, and it just hit me so hard that I had to share it. And in case you have not seen it on TikTok, I'll read it for you. Supposedly, it's by a poet named Mustafa Ibrahim, who's Egyptian, except that we're not really sure about that from the discussion in the comments on my TikTok post. So take that with a grain of salt. Says, may you never be the reason why someone who loved to sing doesn't anymore, or why someone who dressed so uniquely now wears plain clothing, or why someone who always spoke so excitedly about their dreams is now silent about them. May you never be the reason someone gave up on a part of themselves because you were demotivating, non appreciative, hypercritical, or even worse, sarcastic about it. As I said on TikTok, this hit me because I am that person in that first line. I gave up on singing for a long time, not in choirs, but by myself. Um, I mean, I've talked about my stage fright on here before, but it's really only in the last few months that I've started experimenting with doing duet videos on TikTok where I can find somebody to play the accompaniment and I can sing with it and have a little fun for a minute and throw it out there, which the first time I did it was terrifying. Now, not so much anymore, which is really encouraging. Um, but anyway, the response to that video of just that poem on TikTok has been astonishing to me. It's not as viral as a lot of people on TikTok manage to go on a regular basis, but it still is way beyond the usual for me, especially as pretty much a newbie on TikTok. And what really struck me looking at the comments on TikTok were the number of people who not only related, because I knew if that poem hit me that way, there had to be lots of other people that would feel the same way about it, but who could name who did this to them, who said something, who made them feel less than, who was sarcastic about all of the things they loved, and just totally blew out that inner light to, in some cases it was a relationship, a lot of cases it was parents to their kids or teachers to their kids. One person mentioned an MFA program, and boy, did I have no trouble believing that because so many MFA programs, at least in writing, I don't know about other disciplines, can be so focused on, you know, you either kill or be killed in a workshop that they're incredibly destructive. And I'm so grateful that mine was not like that at all. It was, in fact, quite the opposite. But whatever the cause was, so many people responded immediately saying, this was my ex, this was my teacher, this was my mother, this was whoever. And then there were people who didn't know what had happened or seemed not to have ever put it together until they heard the poem. And all of a sudden they realized, hey, you know what? I used to love doing this thing, and I haven't done it in decades because of a comment that somebody made to me. It's heartbreaking because you never want to feel like you're alone, but you also don't really want to realize just how much heartache there is in the world, that there are so many other people who feel the pain that you've felt yourself. It's comforting and upsetting all at the same time. But my real response to that, aside from I want to help anybody who's in that position to get those parts of themselves and bring them back to life, because you can do it. I know, because I've been doing it. And I'm going to be working on a couple things that I'll be in touch about. I'll let you know in the near future. But until then, what I really want to say to anybody who's in that position, whether it's you or somebody else that you know who needs to hear it, is that you matter and the things that you love matter. And I know when somebody said that to me a couple of years ago, I thought that was the stupidest thing I'd ever heard. Of course I matter. What are you talking about? And it wasn't until I heard myself say to myself, well, but that's okay because I don't matter, that I thought, oh, that was a little more true than I realized. And, until you not only understand that you matter, but start to act on it and start to say, hey, you know what? I don't care if you don't like my crazy hat collection. I love my crazy hat collection and I'm wearing them. And what you think about it doesn't matter to me because I matter more. It's hard to get anywhere else. So if you have found yourself giving up on things that you love, or just not not being as present for yourself as you could be, maybe letting other people have a little bit too much say in what you do with your life or how you do your life, I would encourage you to just remind yourself once or twice a day, I matter. And as long as the thing you want to do is not hurting somebody else, then you should do it, even if it's been decades. And I don't mean, book Carnegie Hall tomorrow night. you know, you're going to want to take little steps because you're going to have to readjust. And it's going to be a process, but that's okay because every step you take in that process brings you a little bit more back to life. And I'm here to tell you that the feeling for me of getting up and recording a song and putting it on TikTok or starting to take voice lessons, which I've just done, is amazing. I never would have guessed how much more alive it would make me feel, but it really, really does. So if you pursue those things because you love them and because you matter and you're important and what you love is important, I think you'll be surprised at what you discover. But for now, if anything else feels like too much, just try reminding yourself a couple times a day, I matter. I matter. I'm important. What I love is important. And see what happens. We're going to talk about this more. If you don't follow me on TikTok, I'm on there as FY Curiosity. Feel free. I post more video there than I do on Instagram because Instagram's kind of a pain by comparison. And definitely that's where the singing stuff goes if you're curious about that. So in any case, I would love to hear your thoughts and your reactions, your questions, your challenges, anything that I can help you with. And I do take clients. I'm going to be launching a group program in the near future. That's what I was referring to a minute ago. So stay tuned because I'm still working those details out in my own head. And I hope to hear from you or see you and work with you sometime soon. So you matter. Don't forget, you matter. See you next time.